It's time for
Big College Football Kickoff Times.
Overreaction.
Gladys!
The live show with all the info and opinions you can handle. Plus the most important voice of all, yours.
Big College Football Kickoff Times.
Overreaction is presented by
Mr. Yogurt, your favorite yogurt,
and
the mafia known as the Big TV Networks.
also sponsored by
Whatever sponsors end up on Nebraska's end zones. Maybe Runza. I don't know.
Get on the line now at 402-951-1620 and sound off on
Big College Football Kickoff Times
Overreaction, live on 1620 The Zone.
and 1620 The Zone TV.
Oh, Gladys! Where you been, darling?
Oh, that was good stuff.
She had to take some time to get over sweet baby herbs.
Oh,
But
that's right. Yeah, she had the big thing for herbs.
she sounds healthier now, though.
She does. She sounds a little more peppy.
Mhm.
A little more peppy.
Mm.
But yes, it is time for big college football kickoff times overreaction. This is Josh's Christmas in May. He
Yes, thank you.
had to change his underwear 3 times last night in anticipation for
Because they grew 3 sizes bigger. That's what happened in the,
because you were pooping yourself. Thus
Sure.
it needed more
that's what
storage
it was.
space.
That's what it was.
Anywho, the first game that we found out about today for Nebraska was the Iowa game.
Nice.
Go Hawks!
No, Nick, not go Hawks.
And we have, for your convenience, because that's what we do here,
Look at
we have
us.
tweeted out the graphic of all of the known and unknown, I guess, Nebraska kickoff times.
It is known.
Nah.
We found out about 3 more definitive kickoff times today. UTEP,
Yeah.
Northern Iowa,
Yeah.
and
Go
Iowa.
Panthers
And Iowa.
and
yes.
Hawks. Go
So
Panther Hawks.
we knew about those. Everything else, and we do know at least some times.
Yes, because we found out about Purdue. Purdue is locked in, right? That is the
Purdue.
only
That is
other one
locked
that's locked
in at 11 a.m. It just doesn't have a network yet.
Purdue.
Purdue.
Big noon, John. Big noon kickoff.
Yeah, I bet you that thing will end up on Big Fox.
Big
But
noon.
we did ask you a question because for the first time since Nebraska started playing the Black Friday tradition, going back to the Oklahoma series, this game will be a nighttime kickoff, 6:30 on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
And so we asked you,
Hope they wear the black uniforms.
do you like this or
Iowa.
would you rather have had it where it normally is? We gave you 3 options.
Okay.
I like the nighttime. I like to boogie. Or make it 11 a.m. or 2:30, please.
Where's the votes?
65% like the nighttime.
Wow, you said that'd be bad though, and that
I think it'll take a little of the steam out of it, but that's neither here nor
I'm
there.
more than down with the night game, honestly.
yeah.
I'm
You're down,
excited for
Nick.
the night game.
you love asking people if they're down.
I do.
You're down. as
I'm
well.
down.
I'm down.
25% 2:30, only 10% make it 11 a.m. You can vote right now.
Damn
JTech
it.
Instruction Zone Twitter page at USC 1620. So it's not it's not being met with a whole lot of pushback. But we did
Even though it
find
might
out.
be cold, it might be a little chill.
Yeah, it'll be cold.
You have to wear a coat
It'll be
November?
cold.
in November. Wow, crazy.
The UTEP game, I was surprised this ended up on Fox. Now, it's not at big noon, but it is 2:30, so it is getting network.
I thought it was gonna be on CBS, so I guess that's what I'm surprised by. But I thought it was gonna be on a network.
Maybe somebody knows something about UTEP that we don't.
But yeah, it'll be on 2:30.
UTEP Natty?
We knew that Colorado was kicking off in prime time on September 7th on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
Northern Iowa, 6:30. Man, you nighttime
Go
people.
Panthers!
You nighttime people are getting all the nighttime kickoffs.
This is
Iowa
great.
loves night
So
games.
this is not good.
It's
This is
not good.
No.
You 11 a.m. dorks were loaded last year.
Well,
It's nice for them to reach across the aisle.
Yeah, but this is an extreme. I can't vote for.
John right now.
It's the worst.
John, you'll do a great job on Bigger No Reaction that night, and I can't wait to listen.
Well, I'll be listening. I won't be listening on
Oh.
November 16th.
Interesting.
We knew about Illinois.
Yes.
We just mentioned Purdue.
Purdue.
The Rutgers game.
Which is the
Homecoming.
homecoming game. This is when it gets stupid.
Yeah, it's funny how they've locked in. Well, they haven't locked in the times, but they've given you the windows. They haven't given you a network yet, but Rutgers will be either an 11, a 2:30, or a 3.
See, in the years past, I always thought it was like for homecoming, they would say like 2:30 or 3. So you would have a really good idea. It was going to be in the afternoon or middle afternoon. Whereas this is like, I mean, that's, more than half of the day. It could be in those windows.
Yeah.
At this point, they should put 11 a.m. to 6:30.
Nick, you're not wrong. And we'll get to the USC game in a moment. But I mean, you might as well just say it will be Saturday.
It will be Saturday.
It will be sometime that Saturday.
November 19th at Indiana, 11, 2:33, or 6:30.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's literally the whole day.
Yeah.
That's literally the whole day.
Ohio State, 11, 2:30, or 6:30.
Here's a prediction for you, John. If Nebraska is 6-1 or 7-0, that game will be at 11 o'clock because it will be big noon kickoff, live from the shoe.
2 games are truly to be determined. UCLA, November 2nd, don't know a time, don't know a network. And Wisconsin, November 23rd, don't know a time, don't know a network. We mentioned Iowa, but
Go
sandwiched
Hawks.
in between, this is the day that's causing all the controversy and the reason why we're going to do the Big Red Overreaction draft.
Yeah.
USC, 2:30, 3, 6:30, or 10 p.m.
Again, might as well say the whole day. That is literally the
And
whole
by
day
the way,
except
that
for
is-
11.
over into
That
the
is-
next day.
That is
Yeah.
10 p.m. Central
Central time.
not
Yeah.
Eastern.
Yeah, that's late, man.
10 p.m. Central time for USC. Possible. Again, it could be in the afternoon. It could be in prime time. It could be at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
On a network to be determined.
Big 2 a.m. overreaction.
Oh my gosh.
So we did get some answers.
We got some
I-
answers.
I'm happy.
With?
The TV schedule.
Okay. Tell us why.
Last year, there was a lot of big games that I wanted to watch that I couldn't because I don't have antenna or BTN.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these now, like Colorado, NBC, that'll probably be on Peacock also, I assume.
Correct.
Yes.
I'm going to go to the UNI game, so that's fine.
Okay.
The Iowa game, I'm
Peacock.
Peacock.
Just get an antenna though, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $20.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Okay.
Well, he won't need it because of the Fox. You can watch the Fox games on the. Well, I guess you can't. You don't.
No, the Fox games are the ones that I have a hard time watching.
Yeah,
I'll just go to a bar for those. But my point is, the ones that I want to for sure sit down and watch, I can do it at home.
Okay.
At least
nice,
Nick
Nick.
is happy.
I think it's solid.
At least Nick is happy.
I don't want a 10 o'clock game, but otherwise it's solid. If I was in my 20s, 10 o'clock, that sounds great. I'll be in 36. That's too late.
You don't like it for the novelty of it?
Nah.
Nah.
Like
I've seen
that's
it
not
before.
even getting you
No.
I've seen it before.
with Nebraska?
Yeah, they played it. They did a 9:30 game
That's fair.
a decade ago.
Yeah.
But again, I was in my 20s, got hammered drunk. It was a great time. I'm not
yeah.
gonna be doing that this time.
I'm
I'm going
into
to walk banks the next morning.
Whether I have to do a stupid call-in show afterwards or not, for me, it's like,
It's like the spiritual successor to Pac-12 After Dark. Remember Pac-12 After Dark?
I do.
oh, that's exactly what this is. See, this is what
This is
happens
Big Ten
when
After Dark.
when you suck in 4 Pac-12 schools. Is
Hello.
the Big Ten is going to have a lot of these late games on the West Coast
Mm-hmm.
featuring these teams, and yes, Nebraska will get sucked into a few.
A question coming into the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed from Riley about the Ohio State game. And again, the Ohio State game, John, is listed as what?
11, 2:30, or 6:30.
So Riley asks us, he says, out of curiosity, have you all looked at who plays that October 26th weekend around the country? Because hypothetically, if undefeated Nebraska is playing undefeated Ohio State, I imagine that has to be moved to a night game. So what it will actually come down to, I mean, it's a good point to say, look at the schedule around the country, but what it will also come down to is who has first pick. If Fox has first pick that weekend, and let's say it's undefeated, that will be a big noon game because they would want that in that window. If NBC has first pick and it's undefeated Nebraska and undefeated Ohio State, they would probably put that there. If CBS has first pick, again, it would be at 2:30. So it just ultimately is going to depend on who has it. In terms of other Big Ten games that are big that weekend. I'm sorry for saying big so many times. Illinois at Oregon, Maryland at Minnesota, Northwestern at Iowa, Penn State at Wisconsin, Washington at Indiana, and then Big 12 or Michigan State, Michigan, and then a couple Big 12 games for you. Kansas at Kansas State, Texas Tech at TCU. So largely will just depend on who has the first pick for that weekend. And that is something that we don't know because we don't know that stuff behind the scenes.
So going back to the USC game to see, what the other options are. And again, Josh is right. Whoever has the first pick that week.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily know who has the first pick that week between the three network partners. But here are the options for that day.
And this is the USC game?
For the USC game.
Okay.
We'll just look at Big Ten only.
Okay.
And unfortunately, this is not grouped by conference, so I'm just kind of
annoying.
Just scanning here a little bit. So pardon me while I look, but looks like we have Penn State at Purdue.
Okay.
We have Michigan State at Illinois.
Okay.
Nebraska USC.
Yep.
Ohio State Northwestern at Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Wrigley, get down.
Oregon at Wisconsin.
Definitely an interesting game.
Rutgers at Maryland.
Not so much.
And that looks like the only Big Ten games that day featuring Big Ten schools.
Any Big 12 games?
Utah at Colorado.
So, I mean, there's a potential game that, they'd be interested in putting in a nice window. In terms
Cincinnati
of
at Iowa State.
Maybe.
And now I'm having to retrain my brain to what is
Utah,
Big 12.
Arizona.
Kansas at BYU.
Yeah.
Baylor at West Virginia.
Okay.
Arizona State at Kansas State.
Okay.
And I believe that's it.
Okay. So, yeah, some of it depends on how good Nebraska and USC are. Some of it is just the luck of the draw in terms of who has it that week. But certainly if Nebraska USC was like the game that weekend, it would probably be at 2:30 or 6:30. Because I can't imagine Fox would want to put that game at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, I would judge right now. The odds of it being that late, I would rate it less than 10%.
I would too. That is both teams kind of fall apart a little bit.
Right,
and they
because you're talking about two grand brands.
My brand.
Teams that haven't played each other very often recently.
Yeah.
Even though they are now new conference rivals. But, I mean, these were the games that, the Big Ten was touting when they came up with Flex Protect Plus. They wanted to highlight these big brand games.
Sure.
And 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 o'clock East Coast time.
Gross.
Is not a great.
No, that's not why you bring USC into the conference.
Exactly. So again, I would rate the odds of that happening that late at 10%.
Jed writes on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, 10 p.m. game sounds amazingly great. Just like that Fresno State game many moons ago. But then again, I don't go to bed until the Mountain West games are done anyway. Jed says, I'll be up late watching the game.
Well, I mean, if it's Nebraska playing, people will be up.
Oh, I'll be up. We'll all be up. And then John will be on overreaction with Nick.
No.
Hell yeah.
Let's
do it, John.
That's in my month. I got to clear out the whole calendar.
I got basketball games to call in my month too. So yeah, sorry.
Nick.
All right, Nick. Congrats.
Nice.
Looks like we've got it.
Tony says Saturday nap time. Yeah, get your napping in. Get your napping in.
By the way, everyone's been wondering about how college football was going to match up against Black Friday and the NFL now taking over that day with the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Yes. It's a pretty solid day now.
There will be 6 college games in the noon window or 11 a.m., including Oklahoma State at Colorado on ABC, Minnesota at Wisconsin on CBS, Oregon and Boise State on Fox. In the 2:30 window, Mississippi State at Ole Miss, so the Egg Bowl.
Nice.
And then, of course, Iowa, Nebraska, and Georgia Tech, Georgia. So a battle in prime. You're going to have 3 primetime games on over-the-air network. Iowa, Nebraska, Actually, it should read Nebraska at Iowa.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech at Georgia, and then at 7 o'clock, Utah at Central Florida.
Nice. That's a solid day of sports. What?
I didn't say anything.
The look on your face.
I did not say anything.
Michael Severe says, Severe and Grim on overreaction.
Oh,
there you go.
Fun.
And then you'll just fold right on into severe reaction, which will start like 45 minutes later.
That will be perfect. Dan says, Big Jed overreaction. You and Jed could do the show, Nick.
Oh, my. There would be a murder.
Jed does a podcast.
There would be a murder.
I've been on his podcast before. He could do it. He can talk into a microphone. I've heard it before.
Pretty sure there'd be a murder.
By
the way, Hawkeye and Cyclone fans.
That's me.
The Cy-Hawk Trophy.
El Assico, baby.
You're an El Assico.
El Assico on September 7th will be on CBS at 2:30.
Another game I can watch.
Oh, yeah. Along those lines, Nick, John writes an email. Nick will eat rice so he can buy $60 shirts, but he won't buy a $20 antenna so he can watch other over-the-air games. I don't want to hear him complain. You could watch the NFL, Nick.
I just watch the NFL now.
Yeah, I know, but you could watch more of the NFL.
If you noticed, so far,
yes,
Nebraska is not showing up on the exclusively yet. Now, there's still a good chance.
Oh, Jack Mitchell might be listening.
That Nebraska will play a game this year exclusively on but the early games were announced.
What, you're going to do that every time you say it, huh?
On September 7th, Rhode Island at Minnesota.
Oh, cue the drop, Nick.
Minnesota!
Thank you.
Also on September 7th, the gets 2 exclusive games.
What? Tell me more.
Because Boise State at Oregon.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a football game.
Will be at 9 p.m.
Quack, quack.
Nice.
Exclusively on
What day is that you said?
September 7th.
So that'll be after Nebraska whoops up on that buff ass.
And then on September 14th, the will be in Champaign for Illinois Central Michigan. And how about this?
How about this?
The first ever Apple Cup not to feature 2 conference rivals will be at 2:30 September the 14th on only.
That'll be weird.
So the state of Washington is the state that's going to be triggered because their in-state rivalry game, the only way you can see it without a ticket is on Peacock.
Thank you, John.
Also,
I don't like that.
Also, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is playing in a Peacock exclusive.
I think they do usually do like one game a year
against Louisville.
Ian writes, I volunteer to do a Big Red Overreaction show with Nick.
That could be fun.
Wow, Nick. Listen to the way that you just said that. Unreal. Mark writes in to the the Equitable Bank inbox, rather. With all the primetime games scheduled, maybe the usual suspects will quit whining and complaining about the day games. I'll be waiting for thunderstorms or lightning to postpone or delay all 3 of those games into the wee hours of the night. Josh needs to volunteer to do the overreaction shows for those games as well. Hey, Mark, go to hell. What is he saying? Thunderstorms? Get out of here, Mark.
The lightning. And the thunder. And the thunder.
No thunder.
And the lightning.
What the hell is up with that kind of negativity? Taking us to negative town.
Negative boys.
The negative boys.
Because we do perform equal service,
Nice.
Hawkeye fans.
Go Hawks.
Nah.
Illinois State, 11 a.m., BTN, the season opener. We mentioned the El Assico.
Well, where's their
2:30
graphic,
on
John?
CBS. I don't have one. I just
equal.
saw this. The Troy game, 3 o'clock on FS1. Then skipping ahead to October the 26th, Northwestern, 2:30, network to be determined. November 8th, Friday night at UCLA.
Nice.
7 o'clock. And, of course, the Nebraska game.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
there you go.
This is great.
Hell, yes.
Joel says, classic Big 12 rivals, Central Florida and Utah.
They
Man,
are.
That'll be a great game.
They are tremendous.
This is awesome. Aren't you just so happy?
That sounded forced.
No,
It did sound
I love
forced.
This was a great
Josh is the person who, when his Aunt Edna would knit him a sweater, and it looked garish and just awful, that he would open up the package and say, "Oh, it's great, it's awesome."
No, awesome.
Well, you want to make Aunt Edna feel bad, John? Would you spit in her face and stomp it on the ground?
I'm saying this is what Josh does.
No, I would never do that. It was my youngest brother who did that. I didn't get the thing I asked for. Well, okay. Merry Christmas to you too, Luke. I'm excited. This is a great day for all. This is a great day for America. It's a great day for us. And in 2 days, I'm allowed to count down to things again. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, but you've already violated that restraining order so many times this month. I think we need to extend it through June.
I don't like that idea.
Yeah, I think we do.
I'm in favor.
Because you did violate it a lot.
You did. You tried to find some loopholes.
You violated it, the
Loopholes?
spirit of the law, all of this.
Is that a P or a B there, Nick?
You were very Trumpian in the way you danced around the law.
Trumpian. That's nasty. That's Nick. Yeah. Chris writes in. Chris, who is of Knoxville.
Build it.
Races.
Yes.
He says the USC game just feels like it'll be our peacock game. Say the word.
Peacock.
Big national brands, but probably won't be a ranked matchup. West Coast game, so they can start it late without affecting network schedules. Put it on the list.
Chris, I disagree. They're not going to put a Nebraska USC on Peacock. They might put like a USC Rutgers on Peacock. So they have one brand.
Yeah,
but they would not put both brands on Peacock.
I'm putting it on there. Will be on Peacock.
All right.
I will say they're not going to put a Peacock game at 10. If it's at 10, it will be on Fox. So
no, I just read you there. There's a couple of 9 p.m. Peacock games.
I guess maybe you're right.
Remember, it's Peacock. They don't have to hit the late local news.
That's true.
Your NBC, your Peacock,
NBC. John Nicely.
The Peacock local news they don't have a local news. It
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
So you're not going to have any really angry, newscasters on Peacock.
Jimmy
at
writes,
2 a.m. waiting for the game to be over.
I wonder if John would like college football more if Creighton had a team. John, thoughts?
Who says I don't like college football?
He's just saying you would like it more.
Well, sure, because, why not? But they don't. I'm fine with that.
Riley says, was the last time Nebraska played USC the John David Booty College Game Day game? No, it was the
Holiday Bowl
in 2014. Coached by Barney Cotton?
By the Barney Cotton.
Indeed. Barney Cotton.
The Barney Cotton.